This is how 23-year-old Dvir Fisher ended up nearly losing his life in Gaza, but instead experienced a miracle. Dvir Fisher, who's from the Jerusalem area, served in the IDF as a combat medic. Like many Israelis who go to travel after their army service, Dvir went on a trip to India and Nepal. But what happened while he was on the trip was something he never expected.
I went to get something to eat, and on the way there I saw a friend of mine who was like coming and said, did you hear what happened? I said, no. What do you mean? Where? And then he said, in Israel there was a party and about 100 people are dead. There are a couple hostages and they took over a base, the terrorists. And I opened the news and I started also to see the videos, all the brutality and the murders and the rape. And I said, like, I can't stay here. I felt like reality is crushing on me. And then I said, I have to go back as a Jew and an Israeli. So I'm a descendant also to Holocaust survivors from both my sides. So it's something that is really present in my life. And like seeing those videos and hearing what happened is something, like I said, like this is like stuff that happened in the Holocaust. And this time we have an army and I am a combat soldier. I have to go back and fight them. So I did. I decided I'd go tomorrow. At night I saw like 7 shooting stars in like 5-10 minutes. And it's kind of like a sign for me that I'm like protected. But I felt like something is going to happen to me. I landed on Saturday morning and I drafted on Sunday. And I joined my unit on Monday, and we trained, because again, it was my first reserves duty. So like we didn't really know the platoon, like the older guys. So it was like, getting to know them, like we're gonna go into Gaza with you. And as something like first of all, to get to know people, and like, you're a little bored during those training times, before you go, because you don't know what's gonna happen. So I was teaching them yoga, doing yoga next to like tons of ammunition and guns and rockets. It was like really surrealistic thing. We got into Gaza by foot, I think at the night between October to November, 31 and 1st of November. We got into Bet Hanun, which is the northest city in Gaza. It was a scary walk. We walked for like 7-8 kilometers and it was scary and the bag was heavy. During those times, your mind is running thoughts. So I was like, I'm doing it for my family and I'm doing it for my friends and for my life and for my country. And just for something that is bigger than me. Like I may be walking now as one soldier, but I really felt like the power of the whole Jewish nation behind me, and like I'm doing this to protect, like, we said never again, and like this is really why I did this. So this kind of like got me through the night. So we got into Bet Hanun at I don't know, like at the beginning of the morning. We had some missions. Our whole mission was to conquer the area, take out terrorists if we see, and like ammunition, rockets, anything that could use into terror attacks, to clean it out. We did it for 8 days. The whole scenarios in Gaza are also like a little scary, because you have threats from everywhere. You have tunnels, you don't know where they'll come. You have tunnels, you have snipers who could snipe you, you have RPGs, you have drones that could just drop grenades. So like the threat is from everywhere. So you're like in constant stress. You barely sleep for like, you sleep 2-3 hours and then you have something to do. If it's to guard or to go on a mission. On November 8th, we were on our way to an attack on a UN school, UNRWA, which operated as a Hamas base. They were shooting rockets from there and they were hiding ammunition there. So our mission was to take control of this area. Again, because of all the threats, you're not just like, casually walking. So you'll be running from place to place in pairs. We were just moving between 2 houses. And they had about 30 feet of a road, 10 meters, something like that. So we started to run, then we hear tack, 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 like bullets. And I really felt the air just like cutting right next to me because the bullet hit the wall next to me. I continued on running after understanding, and all this is a matter of seconds. And I'm standing and being shot at. And like 2-3 meters before I entered the house, I suddenly I see black. I felt like, ringing in my eyes and like extreme pain, like stabbing your toe at night, that you have something out of nowhere. Times like a billion. I saw everything from above. like from a drone. Like the whole situation, I was here, my friend was here, the tank, the area, and like just for, you know, a split second, but it's something that is like carved in my memory. And then I just felt like I'm going back into my body. I fell down and I lost conscience for like 30 seconds. In this time, like my friend like covered me, 2 other guys pulled me from my vest into the house, which is a feeling I do remember. Then I kind of like, you know, woke up, asked them like what happened, and I was like in extreme pain. And they started treating me, they started doing pecking, which is like stuffing the wound with bandages to stop the bleeding. And I felt the pain like centers and like into here, and like I saw them doing the pecking here, so I said, you know, I was shot in the neck. It's a scary thing to understand. And after that, they started to like undress me and like take off my, you know, my helmet, my clothes, and my earbuds as well. And I said like, you know, this is like just so scary, and like I don't want to be here. I want to disconnect, and I'm conscious and I'm in pain and just want to disconnect. And that's why I said the mantra I do always for meditation. So I kind of did a meditation. So I just did it over again, like Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. And the medic next, like who was treating me still, he's asking me, what are you doing? And I said, I'm doing a mantra for me that I learned in India. I said, okay, good, stay conscious. The evacuation was pretty quick, and the doctor came to me and said, like, I'm gonna have to like sedate you. After that, in the hospital, with my whole family around my bed. But then they explained to me like what a miracle happened, because the bullet came in from here, went out of here, through my neck, without hitting anything critical to life. It did hit the edge of my vertebra of C6. That causes some like nerve pain in my hands and legs sometimes, but it didn't hit any of the main arteries or, you know, any of the other pipes we have in the neck, and we have so many. So it was like the doctor told me, like, if I have to sit now with you on an anatomic map of the neck and like try to draw a route for a bullet to go through, I wouldn't be able to do that better than this bullet. So it's like, they said it's like something 1 to 1,000,000, that something like that happens. I was in the hospital just for 1 week, and they let me go. On October 8th, I heard what happened, and on November 8th, I was injured. Oh, and another sign. So I was injured on Wednesday. On Tuesday night, we did another mission, and I saw again like 4 or 5 shooting stars at night. And I said, like, this is another, like, it reminded me, I said, like, this is like what happened in Nepal. And 12 hours later, this miracle happened to me.
Since Dvir's miracle, he's been on a road to recovery, both physically and mentally.
Something so rare and like special happened to me. There has to be some kind of reason and for me to live, and I have to find that. So I bought a microphone and I started a podcast that I interview other soldiers, and not only soldiers, who got injured physically and emotionally by the war. And I tell them stories. I interview them, I hear out there. First of all, I hear how they got injured, and then how they feel after it and how they recover. And because I feel it's something that we don't get to hear about.
Dvir has also found a community to recover with here at the Brothers for Life house.
Brothers for Life came into the hospital room I was in. First of all, they looked different. Both of them had prosthetics legs. And they said, we're a foundation, we were in your place as well, and we want to invite you into this community and this family, and we want you to know there is a community for people who are just like you, who got injured in combat. And it's like a really good bond, because I feel you can really, really bond with someone who has been through stuff like you.
Is there anything you'd share with somebody who is also navigating their own path to recovery after a traumatic experience?
That it will take time. So don't expect like to wake up one morning and everything will be fine. Like I wish, but it's not realistic. So we have to stay patient. But it's something that you'll grow out of, and you'll find so much strength within yourself. It will lead you to places you didn't think you'd get to. Like, if you asked me a year ago, I wouldn't think I'd be like, you know, having a podcast, or I don't know, interviewing people, or like getting interviewed by myself. It's something like, you know, life leads you, and let it lead you, you know, because really good stuff are coming.